Hi there, and welcome back to the Legendary Resistance. We got a great video for you today. We're going to be talking about making maps and designing towns.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's get right into it.
Whoosh!
Building maps in D&D, not maps.
Not maps?
Building towns in D&D can be very stressful, especially if you haven't prepped for it. So, we're going to be giving you some tips and tricks for building towns today, not maps. And we're going to be demonstrating some as well.
Oh yes, what we got prepared for you today is we had a friend of ours design a map that we have not seen before, and we're going to both separately take an exchange about this town and try and design it separately and see who comes up with a variety of whatever we call it. Fun.
Yeah, but first, let's talk about what goes into world building. World building in general and in Dungeons and Dragons has there are a lot of categories, but it has two general categories. You've got top-down and bottom-up world building.
All right.
Which D&D defines as inside-out or outside-in. They're the same thing, so I'm going to be just categorizing them together. So, top-down and outside-in world building is basically starting with your world. So you are starting with a map, essentially, and you are showing things like mountain ranges, rivers, oceans. You're putting the cities in there already, and then you are world building from that map. You're like, this city is along a mountain range. They're probably going to get like goats out of the mountains or flash floods out of the mountains, or maybe this city is at the edge of this continent and they're going to be a port city and they're going to get trade from other continents. So you're allowing that map to basically inform your world building as you're building it.
And you provide it to the players, right? You say, this map is the world that you're interacting with, go.
Yep, and then you're putting your story into that world and determining how it's going to interact with the world around it.
Nice.
Now, the opposite of that is going to be
Bottoms up.
bottom up and inside out world building. So with
That's a
that
good movie. Anyway, continue.
The second one was actually pretty good too.
Hey.
What this is going to be is you have your characters in your story and you're building a world that you need to tell that story. So essentially what you're doing is you're building cities and areas based on what your story needs. So for instance, you could also do this as a new DM if you're too overwhelmed by the idea of building a world and you just want to render what your players need. So I imagine my players on a path, and that is all that exists in this world right now, and they're walking on that path, and then I am coming up with what they're seeing as they go. I'm just like, oh, you're walking through the woods. It's kind of like a text-based RPG. Like, you see a town. What's that town's name? I don't know. Janiceport.
Ooh. And then you create the town based off of that. You can have Janice be an overbearing ruler that they overthrow. You can generate anything.
Yep. Janice landed here on a boat and founded the town. Now they control all of the resources. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that you are building as the players go based on what they need. So yeah, those are our two general forms of world building. If you are coming across a new town, what we have done is we have come up with 6 steps, 4 mandatory steps and 2 optional steps to make building a town really easy and simplified for you. Now, don't feel like you have to stick with these because you can very easily just do a lot of different methods of city building. This is just one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so jumping right into it.
Rule number 1.
Rule number 1. Give your town a name. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be thought out. It doesn't have to be prior planned. You can do anything. Like I just said, Janiceport. At the beginning of choosing a city name, if you're panicking, just put the word port, landing, town, or shire on the end of any word or name.
There's also some pretty good RNG generators. If you're using your computer while you're designing or while you're DMing, it's pretty nice to be able to say, town name, go, and work with what you got.
Yep. Everybody's got a phone. Google it. Just look up random town name generator. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Don't sweat about it. Just make it happen. Whatever it is, your players will make fun of it. It doesn't matter how well thought out it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's step 1. Step 2, give your town a general size or population. So you don't need to know exactly, like, this town has 6,000 residents. What you need to know is, how big is this town roughly?
Yep. Is it a major city, or is it a smaller town, or is it just a couple houses, or is it like one of the most important civilizations of all time that's just centered in this town? Is it the capital of the entire world? Yeah.
And these are things that you can be able to do just a snap decision. Just like, are they coming up upon a small village, or are they coming up upon the capital city, you know? Just basic stuff like that. Which leads us to step 3. Step 3, what we're going to do is we're going to decide on a vibe for our town. And this is the most important step. And what this does is it allows your players to become more immersed in your town or city.
You can make it a creepy vibe with like a City of Thieves kind of thing. You can make it a Midwest town where there's people driving across the... Wait, that's the wrong... You can make it like a Coliseum-based town where sporting events happen. There's all kinds of ideas you could do for this. But you want to select one and then roll with it.
Yep. So this vibe can be just more broad, like this is a gladiator town or something like that. And then that informs your town building from there. Or it can also just be a visual vibe. So like, as they walk into town, what do they see? Are they looking at a town full of like ramshackle wooden huts that have been loosely bolted together? Are they walking into a massive granite city? Like, describe what they're seeing.
Yeah.
What I do is I try to choose like a type of architecture and building material and roll with it. Like, what does the town look like? Is it a wooden, like, small village? Is it massive sandstone castles? What is it?
Nice. I'm not super well versed in architecture, but I'm certainly I would certainly learn for D&D.
Yep. So that is step 3, choose a vibe.
Oh yeah.
And then step 4 is going to be add basic locations to your town. When we say basic locations, we're going to put a graphic up on the screen, maybe here or like here or maybe like here. I don't know. Somewhere on the screen. We've got a little table for you. Basic locations include an inn/tavern, a guard house or shack, a general store, a blacksmith, or a city center. If you have a very small village, maybe you don't have a city center, maybe you don't have a tavern, maybe your guard shack is just Larry the town watchman kind of hangs out around this like shed on the edge of town and he keeps track of things. Or maybe in a massive city you have the military is housed and trained in a massive barracks on the side of the city. Like, it could be anywhere in between.
It's basically anything a regular town in our world would exist in. It makes sense to have a city watch, what do you call a shopping center? Like, what is it called? A food market?
Yeah, general store, somewhere you can buy food and supplies.
So every town has stuff like that. And so you got to make sure that you have a list that you can follow the basic steps that we put up that you can see. Have that list prepared so when you're designing your town, even if it's on the fly or prepping, you want to have each of these things.
For sure. So
you can also have NPCs that match up across town. Like, you can always have a town drunk in every single town. And so the players would be like, we want to better the town drunk in every single town we go to. And it could lead to anything.
Yeah. All right. Steps 5 and 6 are optional. I want to put that out there. So if you're on the spot and you have to come up with a town immediately, you can leave them out. However, they're really fun, so you should add them. So step 5 is add unique locations to your town. These could be a wide range of things, such as like a brewery, a magic item shop. I know some people don't like to put magic item shops in their campaign. That's okay. You could put like a spa or bathhouse. You could have a bookstore, a coffee shop. Like, these are like the little things that make your town unique.
Yes, it's adding flavor and it's adding a more complete vibe to your town that makes your players attracted to it.
Yeah, and depending on the size of the town, you may have one or more unique locations. You might not have any in a small village, but If you're drawing a blank on what these unique locations might be, we've included a D20 table, like here, 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 somewhere on the screen. And probably right in front of my face. It's right in front of my face, isn't it?
I don't know, maybe. I might put it there.
In order to add unique locations, you can just roll a D20 and see what you get. And our last and final step, step 6, is going to be adding NPCs and important families and organizations to your town.
Absolutely.
So these are going to be more plot focused, and especially if you're doing that like inside out or bottom up world building where you need this town for a reason. There's a reason they're here for your story. This is what you want. You want to put your important NPCs, maybe family members of the characters, maybe organizations that they're trying to be part of, or maybe they came to this town specifically to hunt down Bobber the Robber that's been like harassing people on the road.
Oh yeah. Having a storyline connection to each of these towns is very important. You don't need it for like every single one because you have to make sure that the main story doesn't exist and everything, but the main story can be what the players want. So they wander around, they apply for, I don't know, what's a fantasy form of a giving center, like a soup kitchen, something like that. They could apply for those and help out the needy.
Now, that's a
different
unique
towns.
location.
Yeah. Anyway, either way, it makes it more flushed out storyline, and it makes it more feel like the story's progressing, because it is.
Yeah. So those are our 6 steps. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a fun little activity where we have been given a map by a friend of ours. Our friend Brendan has been gracious enough to give us his world map from his campaign. We have a labeled version and an unlabeled version. We are going to basically pick a random city in the unlabeled version, and Michael and I are each going to take exactly 5 minutes, and we are going to make our own town out of that same place on the map. We're going to come back, we're going to share what we make with you and why we made it the way we did.
All right.
So.
Actually, we should break. When do we get?
Yeah. So we're going to show it on the screen. It's going to be in color there. We don't have color here because we don't have color printing. Please like and subscribe to our channel so we can afford color printing.
Yeah, please.
And other fun things. Yeah. Thank you. Like the button's right down there. Just press it.
And the subscribe button's down there.
We're gonna go do this. You're gonna press the subscribe button.
Deal? All right, shake on it.
All right, Michael, there we go. Go ahead and pick a city.
All right, the city I pick is gonna be that one.
All right. We're going to circle it on the screen. We're going to be right back. All right, that's it.
And we're back.
We are back.
Welcome back.
We have both created a town / city / whatever it is we wanted to out of the chosen town on the map. And now we're going to each take a turn explaining what our town is and comparing them.
All right.
So, Michael, what did you make?
I made the town of Frost Elm. Welcome to Frost Elm. It's a high north town where there's lots of snow and there's lots of woods around, but more importantly, there are mountains very close and nearby. This is a nature preserve with mountain sledding and vacations towns.
Oh, okay.
So you're not allowed to cut any trees down or do any damage to the town, as it is a nature preserve that is being preserved across the area. It used to be an old military base from an old war long ago, so there are still lots of battlements. It's a large / medium town, pretty big, because it's a lot of vacationers come here to live here. It's snowy, and they have lots of celebrations. Christmassy, there's fall, there's all kinds of vacation-y celebrations that happen around the town.
Okay.
The main shops they got is you can buy skis, you can get cold protection items like ring of warmths and boots of stuff and cloaks of stuff that help you keep warm. And there's 3 inns particularly that are primarily used by vacationers. There's the Snowed Inn, which is a pretty nice one. We got the Frosty Inn, and we got the Ice Pick.
Nice.
So yeah, the vibe, it's a summer getaway. Have fun with that.
Yeah. All right. So, I already love this.
What do you got?
Mine my town that I made is called Frosthold.
Oh, come on. We got 2 Frost. Oh, all right.
I don't know, it's up north. I thought Frost.
Yep, same.
It sounds fantasy. But my vibe is very different. So my population is around 300 to 400 people. And Frosthold is actually an basically old fortress of stone, wood, and ice. Think about, like, if you've seen Game of Thrones, Castle Black vibes.
All right.
And basically, this place serves as a northern bastion to house soldiers and provide provisions for. If you look at the map, I kind of drew a diagonal line down through. There's a little watchtower on a lake, and then another town down to the southeast of the town. I figured those 3 are probably like a northern barricade to the rest of the lands, and so I kind of labeled the town. There's an island up to the northeast with a whole bunch of craggy mountains and stuff, and I labeled that the Isle of Fire. So Frosthold serves as the barricade in between the dragons and elementals from the Isle of Fire from attacking the people of the southern continent.
Well, we certainly went in different directions.
So I've got a couple locations here. I've got one tavern known as the Frozen Foot.
Ooh, nice.
That people kind of go to warm up and get some drinks. There aren't many available, but they're mostly strong and cheap drinks. And as for general store, they have a great hall with a general supply. Since this is mostly military here, they're kind of already provided food in the Great Hall. But there's going to be a kind of small band that is a ragtag group of musicians from various locations around the continent that perform in the Great Hall very badly. And basically, this Frosthold stores and provides provisions for all the northern border towns because they have a direct line down to the south in there if you look at the road going down. Maybe the party's here because I wrote down maybe the party's here because there are some outlaws that are hiding up here because they figure no one's going to care about them if they go hide up here.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I made.
Nice. We got a vacation town and a military base.
Very similar names, but very different vibes. The original town, we'll briefly show Brendan's map for his world that he gave us. The original town was named, oh my gosh, what does that say? Tationo. Because it's next to the Tationo Mountains in the northern province, and he named the what I named the Isle of Fire,
Soot
Island
with
the Ash
Mountain.
Mountain. Hey, that's pretty close.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yep, so Brendan's kingdom is the kingdom of
Quinoa?
Sorry, Brendan, if you're watching this, we're going to mispronounce everything on your map. But your players are going to do that anyway, so...
Quinoa City.
It's Kenya, Quenya. Quinoa.
I'm going with quinoa.
Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this. We took exactly 5 minutes, and we each made very different towns, but they're basically ready for your D&D group at the table. 5 minutes is all it takes.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's all we've got for today. Please like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more content.
Thank you for making it to the end of this video.
We might do more world building videos later on the broader scale, but for now, stay legendary.
Bye.